Welcome to the Perfectly Positioned to Soar launch celebration. I'm Carol J. Dunlop, the online WOW strategist and lead visionary author for this project. I say project because it's actually more and bigger than the book, and you're going to see that today. I'm sitting down with each of my co authors to talk about their chapter. We'll go through why they said yes to this project and how what they created can help you make more money and play bigger. Join me in the studio now for this amazing interview. Hey, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this. I want to say episode, so bad. Episode almost came out of my mouth for this interview in the launch, on the launch day for Perfectly Positioned to Soar. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you came by, just stop by for a little bit, just to meet the co-authors and find out more about the book itself. So today, my co-author is Nadine Mullings Murray, and the title of her chapter is Conquer the Content Game, the trifecta that builds empire. So we are going to get into that in just a minute. But before we do all that, Nadine, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you so that we're not just going into this cold.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Carol, number one, for being the visionary lead author for this amazing book, Perfectly Positioned to Soar, and inviting me to be a co-author on the project. So I'm super excited to be involved in the project, and I'm super excited for you guys to be able to read the book because it's amazing. Yes. It's awesome, and you are really going to enjoy it. So a little bit about me. I am the partner in She Elevates Media, and what we do in She Elevates Media is we help women business owners who have a message that they really want to elevate in the marketplace. And the three ways that we do that is through the spoken word, the written word, and creating movements. So the written word is really about being a published author. So it goes in alignment with what we're doing today.
Exactly.
As we are publishing, I think this is my sixth book.
Wow.
This is going to be my sixth published book, but it really is about how you build your authority through being a published author. So in She Elevates Media, we really help you through the written word, which is a published book. The second thing we help with is the spoken word, which is actually podcasting. So if you have a message that you really want to reach more people, podcasting is the best platform for the spoken word. And then the third area is through a movement called a virtual summit. So if you're really looking to create not just a book or a podcast, but a movement, we help you with creating virtual summits for your business, book, or brand.
Yes, I love that. I love that. You know, I love all three of those: books, podcasts, and summits. And I've done them for several years. So yes, it's going to be, She Elevates Media is going to be super awesome, elevating those people who need to get the word out there, because sometimes you just need a little help. You might know what the subject matter is you want to talk about or write about or whatever, but sometimes we all need a little bit of help.
Absolutely. Yep. We can't do it alone. We really can't. When we're not supposed to do it alone. So you should have a team to support you.
Most definitely. And I think we're doing that. That's why I don't really publish a lot of solo books. I mean, I will do it for my clients and stuff like that, but I don't do it necessarily for me. I love collaboration books. Yeah. I think I find out more about the people when I do the books than I ever knew about them, and how they express their ideas, according to the subject matter. But what I would like to know from you is what made you decide to join this project when I presented it to you, told you about it. What was the thing that made you say, yes?
Well, to be honest, you, of course, that's going to be my number one answer. Carol and I both love to collaborate. We're in the same industry. in different lanes, but the same industry.
Right.
And we've collaborated over summits. We've collaborated over podcasts. We've
Right.
collaborated in other books. So when you said, I have this awesome idea for a new book called Perfectly Positioned to Soar, I basically said, whatever you want to do, Carol, I'm jumping on board. So I don't care what the title is. No, I'm just joking. I did, think through what the title was, Perfectly Positioned to Soar, what the content is going to be, and basically how we can help entrepreneurs through this book. So I think the first reason, to be open and honest, was you're the visionary author and the lead on this project. And I trust you and I trust your vision. So I jumped on board because of that. And the second reason is because of the title and content of the book, Perfectly Positioned to Soar, because I think we're all perfectly positioned. There's a certain time where we just have to have the faith to take the leap, right? God positions us. He gives us everything that we need in order to succeed in life and in business. But we have to have the courage and the confidence to take the leap in order to soar. So I wanted to jump on board for this project for those two reasons.
Well, I handpicked, or for the most part, handpicked everyone, all the co-authors who are here. There are a couple of co-authors who are very new to me, and I'm enjoying getting to know them. But all the titles, the book itself, the chapters and everything, my team and I worked together to create the chapter titles, and I had to pick the people to go into that. And when I thought of the content trifecta, I was like, there is no one that could write this but Nadine Mullings Murray. No one. I mean, and I told you that there's no one. And so when I put it out there, I was hoping, I was like, don't pick that. Because I did give everyone a choice of their chapters while you were deciding, do we want to come in? Do we want to do this or whatever? And I was like, don't pick that chapter. No. And nobody did. Open. I was like, Nadine, you got to come in and do it, because this is a sign from God.
Yes. And I just want to confirm, the approach that you're taking to this book. Like, as the visionary author, you already had the chapters in mind, but it was co-created with God as to who needs to write those chapters. Right. So I love that you're sharing the behind the scenes of how you created the book, and knowing that, hey, you had these chapters in mind for this Perfectly Positioned to Soar book, but you didn't necessarily have who needed to author those chapters in mind. So that was where the co-creation with God came in, to help you select the right people for the right chapters. So I just admire your process and how you co-create. You're the visionary author, but you're co-creating with God for the right people to be in the book, and then of course for the right people to read the book as we launch the book today.
Yes, that's what it's all about. And I've talked about co-creating with God, partnering with God, and allowing God to take the lead and do what he does. And I just do what I do. He said, I was on the interview recently, and the host asked me, like, where'd you come up with this name or concept or whatever? I was like, truthfully, it was a spiritual download from God. I was finishing up something, and something that somebody said, how you go, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, I need to do a book, Perfectly Positioned to Soar. That's all I had. I didn't know anything else that I was going to do. But I know that we all, like you said, we all are perfectly positioned, but some of us just don't take advantage of it like we did. And I wanted this to be like the catalyst, the blueprint. Let's do it. This is how you do it. And then I wanted to bring in people. It turns out that it's all women. I wasn't exactly looking for all women, but that's what God gave me. And I'm happy about that, because my audience is mainly women. I do have a few great men in there. So, y'all aren't by yourself. But I wanted to show the roadmap, the way, in a very relatable way. So I figured, if we get authors and their co-authors who can actually speak from their experience to how you need to do it, then we got a perfect match, a perfect storm, as they say, but in a good way. So Nadine, I wanted to ask you, how does your chapter, when you're talking about podcasts, books, and summits, how does that coincide with your business? It's almost answering itself, but I want your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, You did ask me to introduce myself before we got into the content of my chapter. And as you mentioned, when I introduced myself and what we do at She Elevates Media, it's exactly what I wrote about in the chapter. So it doesn't even compliment, it is exactly what we do at She Elevates Media. So when Carol was like, you're the perfect person to write this chapter, it made sense because, hey, it's what we do in the company, and it's what this chapter is all about, how you can really stand out in the content game through these 3 specific areas of content creation.
That is so true. And that's why I thought about you, because I had approached a couple of people, putting stuff out there. I did a lot of work before we even said we were going to do this thing. I got my reels together and all the stuff we were promoting, but it was very specific as to what I wanted. And I think we have to think about that. We're not just doing a book just to do a book. It's a specific reason why you do each and every book, each and every podcast, each and every summit, because you want the audience to get something out of it, and you want to get something out of it yourself. And since I've been preaching all this stuff for all this time, you got everything you need. You're ready to do it. I felt like this was the perfect vehicle. And of course, if y'all stay tuned with us, there's more coming that you don't even know about yet. But today we are talking about Let's Get This Book. Go ahead and get your copy. You can see right there on the screen. You can go to csicorporation.com/soar. I have a special bonus waiting for you when you get to that page. And when you buy right now, this is going to be the Kindle. The paperback version will be out in about 2 weeks, and you'll be able to see these videos again, because I'm into reusing things. So you'll be able to see these interviews, because the book isn't going to change. It's just today is the Kindle version. It's only $2.99. I know you can afford that. Then you're going to come back to that same page and get your extra super free mystery bonus that you will know more about when you go to the page. So go to csicorporation.com/soar and get your copy today. Now, Nadine, I want to ask you this. How can the reader use your chapter to help them on their journey to higher income?
Yeah, absolutely. So my chapter really focuses on creating a marketing system. So it's not just about a marketing strategy or marketing tactic or even a marketing plan, which I teach all 3 of those things. But how do you put a system together that generates leads and converts to business? And this is what my chapter is all about. So we really break it down into those 3 main things and how you create a marketing system out of it. So once you become a published author and you have a book out there, you become known as an authority in your field. Right. And people want to talk to the people who are, in authority, right? The experts, the knowledgeable people. A lot of times when you watch a show or you watch television and they bring in an expert, they've written a book, right? The author of whatever book. So you want to be known as a thought leader and an expert in your industry, and publishing a book is one of the best ways to do that. So that's the first part of your marketing system. But you don't want to stop with just being an authority. You also want to amplify that message, because not everyone is going to buy your book, right? That's the reality of it. As much as we'd love everyone to buy Perfectly Positioned to Soar, not everyone is going to buy it. The way you amplify that same message is then by having a podcast. And that podcast is really talking about the same message that you have in your book, that content that you have in your book, the God-given message that you've been given to reach more people. The podcast is the second phase of the system to really amplify it and reach more people. When I started my podcast, I never dreamed that I'll be reaching 50 plus countries. When I look at the analytics of my podcast and I see, somebody from India listened to it, or someone in Africa, I'm like, it just blows my mind, the reach that you can really have, so much bigger than a book, by having a podcast and really sharing your message on a podcast. So that's step number 2 in the marketing system. And then step number 3 is, as I mentioned before, not just having authority, not just amplifying your message, but now you're ready to create an entire movement. And creating a movement is also inviting other experts to talk about the topic, really helping people to understand the topic on a deeper level through a panel of discussions and sessions and things like that. So doing a virtual summit really creates a whole movement out of your message. So my chapter really focuses on a marketing system. Again, not just one strategy, not just a tactic, not even just a marketing plan, but how can you create a system that amplifies your message, allows you to be an authority, and creates a movement in your industry. And that's exactly what those three pieces do: the book, the podcast, and the virtual summit. And that's what my chapter really helps you with and talks about creating your marketing system.
I love it. And your chapter is awesome because I've read it.
Thank you.
And just helping people to understand that system. I love the system piece. You know, we're all about systems, and we talk about funnels and marketing, and the main thing we talk about is who are we talking to? You know, all these things center around who is your audience, what do they want, how can you help them? And doing those three things by establishing yourself as the authority, people are going to look to you. You know, in Atlanta, I don't know if you remember this or not, but there's a lawyer that says, you know, I don't chase ambulances, the ambulances chase me because they want him to be their lawyer. So I look at it like that way. You know, people are chasing the authorities, someone with authority, especially nowadays, you know, real, genuine compassion in your authority, in authority marketing, all that. People can sniff it out. And if you are real, they're going to come to you and say, hey, help me with this. So that is key. And then, of course, amplifying. I love how you say that. Amplification is important because you can't just scream into a cave and expect everybody to come running to you. So amplification is important. And then that part about starting the movement, and summits are the best thing you can do to start your movement because you're bringing a group together. They are actually, everybody sharing all this knowledge and information. And the person who is attending the summit, I think, gets the most out of it. Of course, the speakers and everything too. Yeah. But if you bring good information, people are going to latch on to that. And then you know what? You get in their head and they think, oh, who is the person that had that awesome summit? Was it Nadine Mullings Murray, or was it She Elevates Media? I don't care. I've got to get in contact with them right now because I want to do a summit. That's how I actually started with summits. I watched one and I wanted to do it.
And I'd love to share my story about summits. I've shared this before on other platforms, but I'll share it here. Initially, as Carol knows, I was anti-summits. Like I felt like it was too much, too many sessions, too many speakers, too many days, too much time. But Carol approached me many years ago now about being in her summit. And my first thought was, I'm not sure if I want to be in a summit. And of course, Carol convinced me and I decided, okay, let me be in this summit. And I shared this, I think, in the book. I shared this story in the book. And I went ahead and went on the summit as a speaker, but I also took the time to listen to the other sessions and the other speakers. And I realized, wow, this is actually a powerful way to get a message out, to really allow people to go deeper on a topic or theme or a subject by having all these experts in the room and listening to their various sessions. It really is a transformative way to impact people through summits. So she changed my mind on summits after being a speaker on her summit. And that since then, I've gone on to produce an annual summit. I think I've gone on to produce maybe 4 or 5 summits at this point.
Yeah. And they're all awesome. The comments coming from there is, this changed my life. This is amazing. Where have you been all my life type of thing. And I knew that would happen. And I want that to happen for everyone who does summits. But, you know, in the book, we're not just talking about summits and books and podcasts. We're talking about so many things that stop you getting your story out there, clearing your mess out of the way, and believing in it so you can go and do your thing. I think we've all kind of been in that area. So, you know, I'm doing this stuff, but will anybody buy, or will anybody come follow me? Do they know? Yes, when you're authentic and you speak human to human and you relate to people, yes, they will follow you. They will buy from you. And
they will.
And speaking
Absolutely.
of buying,
Before you jump into, I know you're going to talk about buying the book, but before you jump into that, I do want to give people concrete examples, because that
mm-hmm.
first summit that I did, I got a client that went
Mm.
on to purchase several products and be a repeat client
I did
from
not
that
know that. Oh
one.
my goodness, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, from that one virtual summit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's continued to be in a client for many years. So I do want to make it concrete for people that this is absolutely a way that you can make money. This is absolutely a way that
Mm-hmm.
you can convert. This is absolutely a way that you can grow your business. So
Exactly.
summits really do work. As much as I was like anti and against them in the beginning, they do work. And I'd love to even share an example of, so for the audience, like if
Mm-hmm.
you're a coach, say for example, you're a health coach and you decide you want to write a book, right? So then you write a book, but then you realize, hey, I can make this message and turn it into a podcast and interview
Right.
other people and share recipes or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you create a podcast. And then you realize, wow, I know a lot of other great health coaches or health people in the health field that we can create a summit, and then you create a summit, right? So that is how you can walk through the system as being an authority by writing your book,
Right.
then amplifying the message by having a podcast and having guests and sharing your message on the podcast, and then creating a movement. So I really wanted to leave people with a concrete example of how you can use the marketing system from my chapter in the book, but also my personal story of how it has converted to revenue for my business. Almost anything that Carol has recommended, she's recommended a collaborative book, she's recommended podcasting, she's recommended the summit. It usually generates some form of revenue for my business. So now you can talk about ways that they can purchase this amazing book.
I'd love to dig in just a little bit deeper, because I didn't know, I'd never heard the part about you actually got a client who has followed you all that time. And that was several years ago when you first did, 2016 or 2017 when we first did. So that is super awesome. I've got something else to brag on my people about. I love bragging on my people. And then I wanted to say to you all who are listening right now, as Nadine said, we're giving you concrete evidence. We're just not pulling things out of the air and saying, maybe you could do this, or maybe you could. No, each of these co-authors, including Nadine, are talking about things that they have done. This is their true self that they're revealing, which is what I love about this project, and being perfectly positioned to soar. We even have one author who she came in and she was like, oh, I don't even have a website yet. And how am I going to give this gift away? And of course, we're all in the group together. So they stepped up and helped. And she sent me her gift, which is amazing, by the way. I'm not even going to tell you who it is. But that thing that she created, oh my goodness, it is amazing and awesome. And so are all the gifts, all the co-authors. I love them so much because they gave from their heart. Truly from their heart. And this book is not only a book strategy guide, it is a journal. So after each chapter, you get to write about what you just learned about or what you just discovered. And we've got these leading questions to ask you so you can think and see if you're missing out on a point and you journal about it. It's been proven by experts and gurus and scientifically that journaling really helps to clear your brain, helps to get a lot of all this mess that's in your brain right now. It helps to get it out so you can think clearly, write clearly, create clearly, all of that. And you get all of that in the book, plus some other goodies. We've got a business resource in the back. We've got entrepreneurs and business owners who believed in us so much that they sponsored the book. They're in the front and they have ads in the back. So we have this whole village is just blowing up. I'm just telling you, it's just blowing up. So I definitely want y'all to go and get the book. It's only the Kindle version. It's only $2.99 right now, $2.99. I know you can spare that for us because we need you to help us to get this to bestseller, and not just bestseller to be bestseller. We need bestseller because we want as many eyeballs as we can get on this information, because nobody else is telling you all this stuff, all packaged together in one thing with all the stuff that you can do with it. So you can go in maybe uncertain, maybe not knowing, but you come out and you know exactly like the book says, you are perfectly positioned to soar. So Nadine, I'm sorry. Y'all go to the link on the bottom, csicorporation.com/soar. And Nadine, please tell us how we can reach you and give us a little tease about what your free gift is in the book. And then we're going to let you get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to reach me is my website, NadineMullings.com. You can go on there. I am on LinkedIn. That's probably my preferred platform. So if you are on LinkedIn, look me up, Nadine Mullings Murray on LinkedIn, and connect with me there and let me know that you saw me on the book launch. That would be awesome and amazing. So connect with me on social media too. And the little taste of what you're going to experience with my giveaway in the book is just helping you to create your marketing system. So we want you to soar. And I believe one of the best ways you can soar is by creating a system that generates leads for you, that converts your leads to business. And so my giveaway is really helping you to create that marketing system for your business. So that's what I gave away in the book.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nadine, not only for being my biz bestie, my confidant, mentor at times, coach at times, friend at times. Well, friend all the time, I guess, not just at times. And especially for being a co-author in this book and taking on this, I guess, this assignment of helping people to soar in the way that you laid it out. It's going to be amazing. Y'all go get that book now. So thank you so much, Nadine. We will see y'all next time. Bye for now. Hey, thank you so much for joining us for this most informative interview. Did you enjoy it? I certainly did. And if the information we just shared resonated with you, it's time for you to soar. Perfectly Positioned to Soar is available right now. Go grab your copy using the link below. You'll also get access to our free mystery bonus gift when you do. Thank you for being here, and here's to soaring together. Bye for now.